I think Dave just needs to pull his finger out. I think he went back to reserve grade and someone told me his stats actually, so I couldn't tell
horrible.
you.
Yeah.
You've got to give the team from last year a chance.
The incumbents,
Yeah,
for sure.
you definitely got to give them a chance. But he needs to have a big game.
The best memories are the ones you don't really remember.
my
Darren Lockyer, Magic Round 2025.
Best.
It's my life in the same.
Yes, hello and welcome to Freddy and the 8th for another week. Proudly brought to you by Sportsbet. Great to see you, gentlemen. How are we?
Good.
Recovered from Magic Round?
Yep.
It's pretty,
Well, we ducked and weaved. Well, Saturday you had a crack.
most of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's such
good,
a
isn't
fun
it?
time.
You're talking about moving away. Brisbane's its
No,
home.
you wouldn't
Yeah,
move it.
yeah.
Wouldn't move it anywhere.
I think
I
you've always
reckon
got
for
to
one
put it
year-
up for
No.
auction.
I reckon I'd take it to Perth and get involved with their opening
But
season.
one thing about the Perth, the bird's nest, where you got to get taxis there. Everyone walks there from Caxton Street.
You can play on two fields in Perth. When they do the gather round, they play on heaps of different
Yeah,
fields.
yeah, but I feel like that takes it away. I think one of the best things about Magic
I
Round
agree.
is the fact that it's at one stadium.
Yeah, it stays there.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere where it's warm. You know, people are having fun out and about. Yeah, maybe
It was pretty awesome. The
somewhere
colour.
else.
Dubai.
Yeah, well, I suggested Darwin. Can you imagine that?
Oh, no.
That'd be.
Well, in Darwin, if you're not walking down the main street at 10 a.m, sucking on a long neck, you look out of
They're
place.
kicking you out.
Stubbies and thongs.
We've had a game up in Darwin.
No, I didn't go.
No, you didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a tray of tequila shots, and someone left it at a nightclub, and.
Wasn't
plenty
me.
of- No, it wasn't you that time.
Wasn't me.
Hey, also, this is episode 188 of Freddy and the 8th. You're closing in
Really?
on 200. Well done.
Can't believe that.
I know.
Are we doing anything special for 200
Yeah,
maybe?
we should do something for it.
Could we go somewhere and film it somewhere else?
What about Tweed Heads, that back street?
You know what? We should get all
What's
the
in
fans.
between?
Massage.
What's in between the cigarette shop?
So you got cigarette shop, massage, tattoo, massage, cigarette.
Geez, that's a day out.
Just hopping from one to the next.
Oh, yeah.
Signal.
Well, if you've got a good suggestion at home, send us an email on our
Backward.
email f8@9.com.au.
Is that deep tissue
tell
massage?
us which one to go to. Yeah.
Or maybe just some suggestions of
Swedish,
what we
yeah.
can do.
Backwards.
We have a big show coming up on Freddy and the 8th. We're going to be launching a new spin-off show on 9. We're going to be looking at plenty of Origin team changes as well, with Origin Game 1 21 days away. We're going to be talking all things Fifita as well, plenty of drama at the Titans, and then, of course, previewing all the games this weekend. So let's have a look around the grounds. What a weekend we had in Magic Round. And there's a brand new show on 9 coming up. It's called RBT Magic Round. Have a look in.
Tonight on RBT.
Very intoxicated. Very intoxicated. Five schooners 4 or 5 hours ago. He may not be telling the truth.
My salute is to the referees.
Magic Round strikes
Magic
again.
round, Freddie. How good.
Drunk? Sound drunk? Smell drunk?
They got that
Correct.
right.
Vodka.
Oh, yeah.
Where
famous
did you
line.
go? Because the night started just at the pub.
No, we watched the footy at the pub.
Yeah,
Wasn't that
yeah.
late?
No.
I shut it down at about 1. And
That wasn't long after.
old Mr. Invisible here was dancing around. I was babysitting there. I'm just walking. Mate, what are you doing? Just sitting there, just looking.
make me
Were
dance.
you on the
floor.
dance floor?
Yeah,
I made my own
thumbs are
dance
out.
floor.
Yeah, right.
There was a
okay.
good night. There was plenty of laughs. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was really good.
yeah.
There
I
was
think
no driving. Definitely no driving.
no
That's
driving.
a good show, RBT.
You like RBT?
Yeah.
What makes
It's
you?
probably only one show because we get the family actually watches it. And, what do you reckon? Do you reckon he's going to blow over? Oh, I don't know about blowing over, but the tongue, I reckon he's guilty there. Doesn't look like he's eaten or slept for about 5 days.
That's funny, and when the bloke passes the,
Have you seen the one where the
alcohol
bloke
test?
looks like Brendan Smith? The bloke's interrogating this bloke, what are you up to? The bloke's like this. Not much. You been driving? The bloke's going, nah. Well, your car's crashed. It looks like Brandon Smith. Identical to Brandon Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a good show. Yeah, I know what you mean. You just sort of get caught in the storyline of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here he is, Brad from Terry Hills.
Get the scraper
He had a
out.
few last night. They'd pull the window down. It was like the Cookie Monster. The eyes are rolling. He hadn't even drink that.
All right, well, speaking of Magic Round, we also we had some highlights, but we also saw some lowlights. This would have been so disappointing if you were a Dragons fan. One of the worst bomb tries we've ever seen. You just have to feel for poor old Jaden Stewart there.
Because he rips in every week. He's as tough as they come. And unfortunately, that's going to be played over and over. He's a good player.
Well, while we were at Magic Round, there was also plenty happening in Sydney. Did you see what happened to the Roosters in one of the junior competitions?
No, I didn't
Boyd
see it. I
Cordner
heard about
was coaching them, and they had a great win.
Toby Rodwell, the halfback, he ended up man of the match. So they scored to the death here, the Roosters.
And they didn't take the kick. They were down by 8, I understand. And this was Robles in the headgear. But the fullback got sin bin for Parramatta.
Well, apparently the Parramatta fullback got sin bin just before extra time. And then the Roosters went and won it in extra time. I texted Boyd and he just was blown away at how exciting it was coaching a team and finishing like that. But interesting to see how he goes. Like if he continues with coaching, it's a bit of a drug. It can get pretty addictive coaching.
Because he was with the Roosters. He was with Robbo in the NRL team last year. Is he still doing that this year?
I think he was doing some individual stuff, but I think his thing this year was to go and get your own team. So he had the S2 ball team, and the other, Harold Matthews, was won by the Warriors. So the Warriors beat...
I saw a clip of their back rower.
I think they beat Newcastle.
Chipping and chasing and scored one of the most...
Yeah, unbelievable. The back row's a
tries.
gun.
Yeah. Can't think of his name. Anyway. Halfback, Toby Rodwell, son of Brett Rodwell, played for the Steelers, and 5'8" Tyson Walker, brother of Sammy Walker and son of Ben Walker, so second generation NRL players.
I was actually at Woy Woy yesterday and they had some games up there. This was the first round of the schoolboys and I ran into Steve Simpson's young bloke, played for Maitland.
He'd be a big, raw-boned
That's what the bloke
boy.
said to me on the sideline. He goes, "Oh, there's Steve Simpson up there. His young bloke's out there." I went, "Oh, he's back there. He is, like just identical."
Titanium
I just
bones.
looked at his knees. I used to always have to tackle Steve Simpson's knee. He just like lifted into me every time. But it was super impressive. And you talk about the juniors and how they're doing it well. The Roosters are doing it very well at the moment. You see this influx of young blokes coming through at the moment, but there's a school up there called Central Coast Sports School. It's an independent school, and basically you go to school to do rugby league. There's also soccer programs and other programs, but the rugby league program's incredible. They feed them. They're doing reps all day. They've sort of got a holistic look at how much they're doing, so they're not overcooking them. And when you looked at the way their team played yesterday, they beat Hill Sports High, and the quality's excellent. Really good. And Central Coast Roosters, they've been doing that now for a while.
Who's running it?
Paul Fronze, he's the coach, and then you've got Michael Sullivan and Blake Austin's up there as well. So you've got a heap of sort of ex-players in and around the team, and I've got to say, they're doing an awesome job. And the system they have where they get kids are there early, they feed them, training them all day. This will be the new program for kids coming through if you want to be a player.
It's great to
I
see.
think Robert went to Barcelona, and had a look at their junior system and their model and what they do and the way they coach them and bring them through. And they've brought that back to the Roosters. And when they lost all those players, we're going, who are they replacing them with? But no, Nafahu White.
Feketi. Blake
Siwa
Steep.
Wong. All those young fellas, you just talk about the young players coming through and then you look at that team in the under-19s, under-21s, I think there's some good players there.
Yeah.
Well, it's great. It's great for the whole game too, because it sort of assures that the future is in good hands. All right, let's move on. Let's talk David Fifita. Some drama at the Titans. He was dropped to Q Cup, and by all reports, it was because he asked the coach, Des Hasler, because he wanted to move to the left edge. That's what the story is at the moment. But then he got dropped to Q Cup. What is your take on this whole situation?
No idea.
No idea. Is that a strange thing for a player to request a switch?
Well, you can request it and the coach says no and you just get on with it.
You'd normally be dropped on your reaction, not the asking. A lot of players would say, can I try the other side, or I'd like to play with this player. And I remember talking to Keon Kalamatangi and Jai Arrow about which side they play, and they go, well, we want to play with Cody. So there's sometimes you want to be on the side where you get the most ball, but I think Dave just needs to pull his finger out. I think he went back to reserve grade, and someone told me his stats actually, so I couldn't tell
horrible.
you.
Yeah.
He had
Poor
about
stats, they
eight
got
or
flogged.
9 hit-ups for about 50-odd metres. And they got beat by the team that hasn't won a game, and they got beat by 30-odd nil. So look, David, you don't want to get to middle-aged and look back and reflect on your career and go, far out, I wish I would have done that. You don't want to live with regret. We can see he's a genetic freak. When he's on, he is one of the most, well, not one of, the most damaging player in the world.
So then how do you get the best out of him?
Once again, I don't know.
That's
I don't know if
David.
it's, I don't know. I doubt if it's a physical thing. I know he had off-season surgery, so he's got to be, I don't know if he's rock hard fit, but it's a mental thing. Just get yourself ready to rock and roll. You've got too much talent, mate, to be playing reserve grade. Should be playing Origin and playing for Australia every year. But they've got inexperienced halves. They've got to have someone there constantly barking at him, but giving David the ball in the right position. He's an explosive player. You don't go to him all the time. You only go to him when there's stuff on. And that's where David has to be responsible, not call the ball for the sake of it, but it's up to the halfback to bring him into play with the right sort of plays which gets him one-on-one. Look, I played with Adam McDougall. He was the same. We said, just go sit out there, and when you want the ball, we'll use you. Latrell Mitchell's the same. You just get out on the left, you just rest. But when you want the ball, you get the ball. And I think David's the same, but he's got to get it sorted. You don't want to waste your career, mate. You're too good a player.
Do you see him getting back into first grade then?
How old is he? He's got to be 30, don't he? 28,
No, he
29?
He'd be 28. He wouldn't be 30.
Let's have a Google.
But what happens is you've only got limited positions. And if you listen to what happens at the moment, everyone talks about
25.
character.
25.
Is he 25? No, he'll kick again.
Do you think he needs to leave the Titans?
Well, he had a chance.
Well,
You
he
know,
nearly
he
signed with the
backflipped.
Roosters, yeah.
Well, he did sign, didn't he?
Well, yeah, and
Backflip.
then, yeah.
There's a young halfback up there I'm hearing amazing things about is Zane Harrison.
I know Zane.
Do you?
His uncle was my best friend at school.
Really?
Yeah.
They
Best
reckon
mate.
he's exceptional, but he's only a baby. He's 18, and you can't throw him in to a side which is struggling.
He's a bit like Young Weaver. Young Weaver was a bit of a star coming through. He got
Was he?
knocked out last week.
Yeah.
But Zane's a good player. He can mostly play a couple of positions.
And
He's
a nugget, yeah.
Yeah, he'll get bigger. His dad's a pretty decent sized bloke. And, he's a real talent.
But the Titans need to find stability in their spine. They still don't know this. Played Jaden Campbell at halfback. He's back this week. As I said, Weaver's out.
Kieran
And the Brimson. We don't know where Brimson is and where he's playing 14.
He's got to do more.
Yeah.
Do you see Des under pressure, or do you?
He probably will be, but I can't understand why. Des, we know, has won premierships. He got the Bulldogs to grand finals. He can coach. The responsibility's got to come on the players. Players, get it done. Like last weekend against the Dogs, they were in the game. They couldn't kick a goal for one. What did Brian Kelly kick?
One from five
or something? Mate, it's a big part of the game. He would have go up by sixes. At one stage, there was I think it ended 6 tries to 5. But they're just playing patches. You see patches, they're exciting, and then they score great tries, and the next thing they just drop balls off the kickoff. You're just like, what are you doing? Bad miss.
Look at that.
You can't be missing tackles like that.
That's a bad miss.
Bad miss.
It'd be a really interesting mental battle when
Clocked off on the inside. Keep your legs moving.
for someone
You can't be missing them in NRL.
like David Fifita when you are dropped back to Q Cup or reserve grade, knowing, you know, that you've been this sort of star that a lot of people have talked about. And it often is the response that you get from the players. Like you look at Lockyer Galvin, who was dropped back to reserve grade just a few weeks ago, and you go out and have a good game, and you never know what's going to come around the corner. Freddie, you were dropped at one point in your career?
I was dropped. It was during the time of daylight savings change. I got my clock wrong. So anyway, I'm getting a phone call as my alarm clock's going off. And they just said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting ready for training. You're an hour late." So I turned up, Gus went to see, mate.
Did you play Reggie?
So I played Reggie's first half and just tried too hard. Like things didn't go well. I come in at half time and Jeff Gerard goes, "Back off to first grade." So I went back and played first grade.
So I
actually got dropped from reserve grade.
Didn't want you.
Reserve grade didn't want me.
President's Cup.
Jeff Gerard goes, "Yeah, beat it."
Oh, that's funny.
Titans, fire up.
Yeah, all right.
Not this
There's
week against the Knights, but
next week.
yeah, fire up.
All right, we'll stick around. Coming up next on Freddy in the 8th, we're going to be talking all things State of Origin, just 3 weeks away. We're going to be getting the gentlemen to give us their New South Wales team.
they reckon they got some lovely footage of you singing songs. Mate, what's the go with the approach? You like staying relaxed?
Yeah, pretty relaxed. I don't like thinking, but if I think too much, I think my brain gets a bit scrambled. So I just sort of take it easy. And, but you know, everyone's got their own routine. I'll stick to mine.
How'd you find tonight? Do you feel a bit sorry for the Queensland, and where do you think we may have won it?
I think without doubt the versatility off the bench. Blokes come on and play hooker, and then another bloke come on and play lock, and then someone to come and play fullback. And I saw him a few times. I just go, who's this bloke? Who's the short stumpy bloke looks like Pomper off the Lion King?
It was mentioned of some real fuzzy legs. Who is it? Mate, congratulations. You played enormous. You had a great series.
Thanks, mate. It means a lot to me.
Cheers, brother.
Oh, how good is that? Back in 2000, we are talking all things Origin, of course. Gentlemen, you look so young. Freddy's got his hand.
I'm sweating.
I actually can't believe how young you not only look but also sound.
Sound like I've been sucking on helium.
Yeah. Does it bring back some memories? Do you miss those moments?
Oh, I can't remember it too much. So that's it. That's the game we won by 50 odd.
2000.
Yeah.
But we're carrying on like lunatics and talking like choir boys. Like, seriously.
So, were you captain this series?
Yes.
Was it 3-0?
Yep. Remember the first one Gordon got sent off?
No, I missed the first one with that. I think I had a groin operation, then came back off the bench.
Boom. There you go. Gerd scored 3 tries. I think kicked about 8 or 9 goals, maybe more. Ball. Geez, he was a good player, Ryan Girdler.
Could score a try, intercept.
Good defender.
I just loved it how mischievous you both looked as well.
Yeah.
I think.
We're on the night train that night.
Yeah. Well, can we hear a story about what happened after that interview?
No.
Maybe we might save it for later on in the
What
show.
number jerseys on there?
Do they still change jerseys?
No.
I had a whole list of jerseys. I've got a Mal jersey, an Alfie jersey, a Kevy jersey.
I've got Gordy's jersey on.
They're so tight nowadays, it's actually really hard to get the jerseys off. So I don't think it'd be an easy thing to
What are
to
you
do on the
wearing?
field.
Your Met Gala. I love it.
Met Gala, that's just a top. It's just, got a little bit
What's
of...
the lady's name from Vogue?
Anna Winter.
Winter.
Yeah, she approved. She sent me a
Look,
text.
thank you, gentlemen. I might wear this one again. All right, let's have a look at your Origin teams because the countdown to Game 1, it is well and truly on, just 21 days to go. So what changes are you making to the New South Wales team this far out?
Look, I would pick Turbo at fullback, and if I picked Turbo at fullback, Mitch Moses brings the edge players into play. I got Bradman Best and Latrell Mitchell both penciled in. I think another 1 or 2 games for either player to cement their position. If Turbo was fullback, I'd have Stephen Crichton, but if Dylan Edwards or Teddy, then he goes to right centre.
Nothing happens to your bench?
No, nothing. But I'd have him in the middle. Hudson Young would come on and play in the middle.
Well, you'd have to anyway because you've got another back
Yeah.
rower. Question is, so if he doesn't pick Turbo, which there's a good chance he won't because you've got obviously Dylan or
Yeah.
Teddy, and that's the big debate, where does Turbo fit into the team?
Right centre.
So no Crichton?
No Crichton.
Out?
Yeah.
Not to the wing?
And the wingers, I'd have To'o and Lomax without doubt. They complement each other.
So he isn't
Great.
back this week either, is he?
Great runner out of dummy half. I think he is back. Or has he been known? Next
No.
week. And he is strong in the air. And all those combinations have played together. Turbo hasn't played fullback for New South Wales. Asking Billy Slater on the Sunday Footy Show, and this is only if Turbo's fully fit. He said fully fit, there's none better. So where's he sitting fullback?
Well, why wouldn't you play him like we did during those couple of years?
And play with 2 fullbacks?
Yes.
Well, there's an option. But the thing is, if Laurie decides to go Yo, Nathan, Luai, then without a doubt, it'll be Dylan Edwards because of combinations, which means then it's a very Penrith-style play, which is grind away, grind away. If you have a look at New South Wales' strength last year, in particular in Game 2, on the edges, Latrell and Angus on the left, couldn't tackle them. 34 points at half-time. So how they bring these strike players into play, it's going to be the job of him and Luai or him and Moses. If Moses does play, He loves playing long. Catch, early ball, out to Bradman or Latrell and Angus, which is a weapon.
Well, that was a problem in the last game because they couldn't get points. They only getting the points by Angus and Connor. Ball popped out the back, bang, they hit Bradman and went down the side with Jerome.
And then the last
outside that, they didn't attack.
Didn't attack.
At all. I remember they, off the kickoff, they dropped the ball, and that was it the whole game. They never attacked. So I get a bit nervous that if Latrell's not there, he's not going to demand the ball.
Yeah.
But whoever's there will throw it to Latrell. So,
which will be him.
Yeah, you need to attack, and I thought they got, that last game was quite incredible how physical it was, but I thought they got pretty lucky.
So this is.
So are you saying you would have Latrell in the side?
Yes.
Freddy would. I would lean towards Latrell, but at the moment I got Latrell and Bradman Best penciled in.
Mm-hmm.
Both very similar players, both left-centric players. What's Latrell? And Bradman, left-hand carrier, right-hand fend. They both got that. But this is the one for me. I think him at fullback, fully fit. He's got to be 100% fit. I think he'd just absolutely tear him to bits.
Because it seems like fullback is the sticking point at the moment. It's the one that is being heavily discussed. We've got a list of potential fullbacks that New South Wales could pick from. And look, obviously there are so many options there. I think a lot of the discussion has been around Edwards, Tedesco and Trebojevic. They're probably...
Turbo hasn't really been
Well,
spoken
apart from,
about.
I feel like you've been speaking about him a fair bit.
It's really Dylan and Teddy. But once again, it comes down to how Laurie wants his team to play. I think the other position, the big position, is 5'8".
Who would you lock in, Freddy, Teddy or Edwards?
At the moment, well, I think you've got to go with Dylan Edwards. I think Teddy's playing the better at the moment, but I think they won last week convincingly. They've got a game against the Cowboys this week up there, and then they've got a bye, so they'll be in camp. So another good performance. You've got to give the team from last year a chance.
The incumbents, for sure.
You definitely got to give them a chance. And they take that winning feeling into camp, and that's, that's half your victory, getting them in there, getting them all nice and comfortable. So they like each other's company. But he needs to have a big game. Teddy's been unbelievable this year. But I've got to say, Dylan Edwards, I reckon, as the incumbent, is still the man to lose.
I think they'll pick Dylan Edwards for sure. But then if you pick Dylan Edwards, then the big position is 5'8". If Dylan Edwards is picked at fullback, which I think he will be, even though I would go that, which is not. Who would you pick at 5'8"? If I'm picking Dylan Edwards, then I'm probably leaning now towards Luai. I was saying Moses.
It's because they play the same position. Like they've pretty much played right their whole life, both of them.
I know last year, Madge got them both together, and he said, "I'll take the second string and let Nathan be the dominant player," which isn't in Mitchell Moses' nature. He's, generally the on ball. I want the ball.
I'd put Nathan to the other side because Mitchell's got that in and away on the right. That's so strong. That speed.
Well, who would you get doing all the general play kicking? Would you go Moses? Do you think he's got a longer kick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you play him on
I'd set Moses on the right and let him. He does that in the way. He's got that speed and he's got that long kick down the right, which is relentless. So anyway, there's a lot of. The good thing is there's a lot of choice.
There is. There's a lot of players to choose from. Another one, Terrell May. He's been spoken about very heavily. He's had a wonderful season.
He would be my 18th man. He needs to be in and around camp because he's going to be there the next couple of years for half a dozen years.
The one that misses Cam Murray. I miss Cam Murray, that speed around the middle. Isaiah is a totally different player. He sort of dominates the ball a lot, especially if he's going to play with Nathan. And that's where I know Hudson Young, you'll sort of lean towards him through the middle with speed.
Like a Chucky Watmar.
Yeah. Cam Murray, he brings a bit of another dynamics to the team with that speed through the middle.
And also such strong leadership as well. All right, let's have a look at the Queensland team. This is some gurus have put together this side for Queensland. What do we think about it at the moment?
Well, Kalen will be fullback. He's unavailable.
Munster will be 5'8".
Munster will be 5'8". You reckon he'll go Dearden at halfback?
You've got Selwyn Cobbo in two places. I'd go Murray Taulagi. I'd nearly bring in Purdue and have these two play. Oh, he's a gun. He's a gun. I reckon I'd have Val Holmes and Hammer play together and Purdue and Murray Taulagi.
Well, Lindsay won't be there.
Harry Grant will be back.
Harry Grant's back.
You'll have Tino.
Tino will be in there. The back row, that's an interesting one. The back row, he plays middle.
Well, he's not playing this week. He's out this week. I don't know how long he's out for, but he's out.
He got suspended.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Both for more, that's an interesting one. I'm trying to think of the left side. Who's the bloke plays for the Warriors?
Oh, Capewell.
Capewell.
He didn't pick Capewell last year.
No. Oh, Nene. I would have Nene and I would have Jaden Sewer. That'd be my starting back row.
Definitely. He always used to bring Cotter and start with Cotter. He'd normally sort of name him on the bench and then play him and start quicker. I reckon he's a chance actually to pick a Dearden. He's a massive fan of Dearden. Just his, just the way he plays, his attitude. Interesting if he went with Munster and Dearden at halfback.
So where would he fit Dearden in?
Well, I'm thinking halfback. Like Daly, I know, rang him up and said he's happy to play another year.
That's DCE.
Yeah.
I think he'll pick DCE. I think Hunt will be 14, and I reckon Dearden will miss out. He'll be 18th man. Who's going to go in for Lindsay? Do they call back Mo Fatawaker?
What about one
I
of
know
those?
Corey Horsburgh's there. Well, Tino will probably go to front row.
Only one of those young blokes. Willison, he's more of an edge player. He could play in the middle. He started in the middle, Willison.
I'll put Tino from 13 to here, him and Carrigan, and maybe Big Red, or as Billy calls him, the Red fella, Corey Horsburgh.
You obviously get to sit with Bill for a number of hours on Sunday morning on the Sunday Footy Show. How are you vibing? Is he...
No, he's good at poker. He doesn't say too much. And his answers are very political.
Very
where
vague.
He just doesn't answer it. What about the cost of living? And they just ramble with absolute malarkey.
So he's not writing any notes. We've got no more insight.
No.
All right. He's playing his cards very close to his chest. All right. Well, that's plenty to discuss in State of Origin as well. We are, of course, counting down. Looking forward to Game 1 right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. But stick around. Plenty more coming your way on Freddy in the 8th. Up next, we're going to be looking at some of the great tries from Magic Round on Freddy's leaderboard.
Blues would love to finish with another one.
John standing wide. Beats one, turns it in for Girdler. Girdler gets it up for Fittler. McDougall's gone back in field. Now it's with Johns again. This time Kamali to the 20-metre line. Inside ball for Muir. Muir gets it away. Johns is there. It's gone out for Gidley to score. Gidley's gone in.
What a memory. 2000, the year. Game 3.
Champagne.
Good try.
I love looking back at all these ones, but I also just love listening to Rabs.
Yeah, it's so good.
He's the best.
Yeah, it's like listening to David Attenborough.
Yeah.
It's very good. All right, let's talk about your try of the year, Freddie. So you've got a few additions to this week.
All right, here we go. TKO. Well, gets this thing at the top. Sebastian Chris, he's just been ousted as the top.
The top's gone.
He's gone. Playing Melbourne in these conditions, Magic Round, the last game
That was so good.
of the weekend. He follows the back rower up. What's the Pommy back rowers? I spoke to him
Nicholson.
last night on radio. He's a gun.
Isn't he a gun?
And look at this. You take on Pappy, possibly, well, he's the second quickest now bloke in the comp, and nails it. What a try.
That was a try.
What a try. You're
So
at the top.
that's taken out number 1.
Yeah, he's at the top.
2 Canberras.
Well, both times they won the game on the bell.
that,
Yes.
That
1-2.
one, the last chance one was great too. But I think,
I reckon you're right. I got KO.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
KO?
All right, next one.
Pappy.
Pappenhausen.
When they send out this little bloke on the wing, he's just incredible to watch. If he's not in Melbourne's team every week, we need to find a team that can fit him in, because having the ability to do this amongst all these other brilliants, and there's Paps
That was
in the middle.
so good. And you know what? Paps makes that look easy. That was a hard take.
Look
He's
at this.
sprinting 100%. Look at that control.
Look at the head, how still.
What do you think gets a boy who does that jump?
That's class.
That
Yep.
is such skill to be
That
able
is
to
so
So
kick
he's going on,
at
and we're
such
going to
speed.
move. Yowie, you're off. You're gone. Going to
He's
move
on
him
the
up
chopping
there.
block.
He's back to
Happy,
Dubbo.
just
Dubbo
under
Sims.
Latrell and above
Oh, really?
Benny Hunt.
I'd put it above the... Because didn't we think that was a forward pass?
Yeah, but it's not your segment.
I know. We
Still
can,
won the game, though. Still won the game.
We can give him.
Hey, Freddy doesn't critique your Today Show stuff. Yeah. You and Carl bantering. How is Carl? I haven't got the.
Yeah, Carl's good.
I haven't got my toenail text.
I know,
so usually get
he's still waiting to see your feet.
I actually tell you, I thought we were going to lock horns up in Brisbane, Magic Round.
No, he had election. He was
okay.
he
was in
definitely
serious Carl
yeah,
mode.
serious Carl mode.
Yeah, we don't like that.
You know, Freddie does watch. He tunes in the morning, and he
Yeah.
often sends me texts, just saying.
All
you
the
know,
time.
Yeah.
I love it.
What about this one?
Great show.
Bradman.
Well, this is off tackle zero, basically. Off a kick return. Kalen found the man. More like a horse.
He's so strong.
He's
just
so strong.
fending off players.
See those last couple of steps like he was galloping.
What do the boys call him in Newcastle? They call him Brick.
Brick.
Brick. Well, he's built like a
Brick house.
He's
Just watch him get out of this. Nay.
I played with Bradman's dad.
All right.
Roger. He's a good player.
Let me think.
What was he like off the field? Because Bradman's very...
No, he's pretty sensible,
'cause this is the
Roger.
thing,
Pretty
that's
quiet.
right, that's
sort of
right.
guy.
Marjou's gone.
When you look at Bradman, yeah, he's this strong, sort of, rough and tumble guy, but he's actually quite...
I think he's an Eshe.
Yeah.
He's a full Eshe.
He's an Eshe.
Have you seen him dance?
He wears like the big
Yeah, I've
jewellery
seen
in
him
that.
dance.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got the big
yeah.
gold jewellery. Goes there with Jeff Fennick's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the thing best.
That's it. He's like
Freddie.
a rapper, right? Like ASAP.
ASAP
Rocky.
Oh,
You're in
what
here, bro.
Who's he go for, ASAP?
Yeah. Hey.
Eshe.
You know, there's an Eshe. KO. Him and Xavier Savage, they turn up in New Guinea, they got their little bags over their shoulder. I loved it.
I've seen sometimes when I've been sitting on the sidelines, some of the players who are injured come out with better handbags than I've ever had. Someone came out, I'm not going to name his name, but he came out with a Louis Vuitton around his...
There's heaps of Louis.
And I'm thinking...
How was Reece Walsh?
That wasn't Reece
It was
Walsh.
Payne.
No,
No.
it was
Come on, just name him.
South Sydney. I'll give you a
Keon.
clue. Yes, it was Keon.
Keon, he's an Esh.
And I'm
He
looking...
grew up
looking
in
at
Bankstown, he still lives out there.
I know exactly how much that bag was. So I'm thinking...
What, how much is a Louis
a
Vuitton?
couple of grand.
What,
Really?
for one of those bum bags?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You get one from Nike for like 20... Well, no, actually,
Maybe $50.
$50.
What are the real popular bags? There's
Bum bags?
No, there's a brand. There's a black bag that's
A girl bag or
Burgundy?
a Birkin?
Birkin.
Oh, Birkin. Do you know how much those are?
No.
Like 20,000. Yeah.
Come off it.
Yeah. You can get smaller ones for 10
Made in
grand.
China?
Far.
Actually, I
Don't
know
go
where they-
there.
No, but some of them are like, there's this one.
20 grand for a...
That's like an average.
For a bag.
There are these little ones that are like, I don't know,
Shut up.
special. 50K for
Really?
Yeah.
Come off it.
Yeah.
What's your most expensive bag?
I once rewarded myself with I have one Louis Vuitton bag. Yeah.
And what's a Louis Vuitton bag cost?
Like that was. Oh, now I feel embarrassed saying.
2,000.
Yeah, it was
2,000.
Can we stop talking about you know.
The wrong job.
What's yours? What's yours?
What's your bag?
Okay, play on. What's the next segment?
We're talking Freddy in the 8th medal. Here we go.
Okay,
Cost him a fine.
We're the same.
Nathan Cleary, there you go.
That was an obvious one. Got Fletcher Sharp. His support players as good as anyone, and Teddy. I was very tempted to put Nico in, actually. Jeez, he had a good
Nico
game.
was
It's the
good.
best I've seen him play in a long time.
Yeah,
Nathan.
was just one of those games. It was interesting. He
That.
come up with a 40-20. Well, on the other side, Adam Reynolds, he put 2 out in the full.
2 out in the full. And same kick. It was a banana, shaped it.
And I love the similarity of the try to
that
the
was-
grand final.
That was kooky.
Well,
Look at this.
there was that try similar to the grand final. Then the first try was similar to the one from Las Vegas. It was
Chip
exactly
over
the
top.
same.
Yeah.
Isaac Tungmore, try.
What about Fletcher Sharp? You'd be loving watching him.
His
at the
support
moment.
plays, just his anticipation. He's added so much to Newcastle because if any forward puts their nose through, he's there. Look at him. He's just a little rat.
That's poor defence.
I just love watching him play.
I like the last try. You see him just swerve the fullback.
Let's see
Here
that.
he goes. Watch this, ready?
Where's the support? Outside backs, where are you? Here it is here. This is the one. My nephew, Jack, backed him to score a hat-trick. You reckon he was happy?
Yeah, very.
On his birthday.
I know,
21.
21.
Yeah. And they weren't allowed out for a drink.
Really? At all?
Just stuff.
And here he is, Teddy. Benjamin Button of fullbacks. Still got that lobster, hasn't he? That big, chunky backside. All the meat's in his backside.
What's Teddy now? 31?
Oh, he'd be
31.
31?
He's as sharp as ever. And this bloke.
Look at that.
Look at him. He's running over nearly 250 metres every game.
No, you watch what he does, like his attention to detail. You look at his jersey. Look at how many people go to grab his jersey. You go through every game and see how many people try to grab his jersey. And because he's obviously strong in that, the jersey's so tight, man, they don't get a finger on him. First time we played in Origin, he come through. It was about 3 or 4 times. He just ran through the middle and blokes just tried to grab him. He was off and running.
So there's the leaderboard as it stands.
Isn't he playing well, Hudson Young?
Katoa's been a bit quiet on the back of a few losses. Adam Reynolds as well. A couple of big games. They're both in Sydney this weekend, those teams.
Queensland team won.
None.
Match ground.
So they're at home. Cowboys are at home. You got Thursday and Friday for Dolphins and Brisbane. And where are the Titans? Newcastle.
There you go.
All righty.
All right, stick around because I'm looking forward to what's coming up next. We're going to be talking all things sledges as well. We wonder what JT is saying right here. We'll reveal it all after the break. Well, we said we'd talk all things sledges and have a look at this one. Mitchell Moses
We'll see.
Trindall getting into it. And I think Mitch may have...
That's a Ron Burgundy. Don't sledge my hair. You've got bad hair.
Yeah, he's sledging the receding hairline. That's pretty rough. I feel like there are so many other things that you wouldn't get offended by, but I feel like men get very offended by the receding hairline.
Well, the whole Turkey thing. Everyone's going to Turkey.
Everyone's going to Turkey.
Do you know anyone that's been to Turkey?
I know someone that's been to Turkey.
Fisher. Fisher's been. The DJ.
Yes,
He's got some Freddy Astaire now.
Didn't Matt Lodge go? Yeah, Matt Lodge went to Turkey.
Right.
Yeah. The two of you have very good heads of hair.
My mate Tom
feel
reckons
like it's going back a little
I
bit.
don't dye my hair.
No, you can. It's sun-kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting some grey. Yeah.
I'm getting some grey.
Have a look at this. We went into the vault as well. We found JT sledging Mitchell Pearce. Have a look at this. So.
Oh, look at poor old Mitchell.
I know. JT layering up there.
Not like him.
He had a good weekend.
Do you remember any good sledges from on the field or any good ones that you gave out?
Sticky was always good.
Yeah.
Sticky was just
out?
he was always gobbing off.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Never shut up.
Just gobbing off at everyone.
What's the Steve Walters one to Benny?
Steve
when
Walters
Steve
said,
Walters took over from Benny Elias.
There was a fight in the scrum. He said, "Come on, mate, slow up. I've got a test match to play on the weekend."
I like the one. Cliff Watson is English front rower back in the 70s. Now, rugby league was different back then. He packs into a scrum and this young front rower goes whack and headbutts him and he goes, "Next scrum, son, I'll teach you how to do that properly." Stretch up off the field. Cliff Watson's head was about that big.
I do love it when they mic up the players and you can hear them on the... Willie
I
Mason,
remember Willie.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
Knew he was,
yeah.
Willie was at Newcastle. He's saying to the forward pack, "These are a bunch of cats. Tell Mary to get me there. I'll fix
He was
it."
just relentless the whole game.
Well, Benny had the famous one where he bit himself,
Mario.
and Mario got Mario sent off.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, that's the silent sledge.
All right, let's look at the Sharks. Where do you see where they are at the moment? They obviously had that win over the Eels on Friday night. They kicked off Magic Round.
That was, as I said, that was Nico's best game for a while. A couple of try assists, playing really straight, played tough. So that, look at that, playing straight into the line, which frees up his outside man. This was a good game too. 22-18 with about 10 minutes to go. Once again, Nico into the line, playing straight. The key is you've got to win the tight games, and they're winning the tight ones. Once again, the knock still on Cronulla is, can they win 2 or 3 big games in a row? That'll happen at the end of the year. That's the challenge.
So the only game where they didn't really rise was the Canterbury game.
At home.
I think they got beat 20-6.
They only played 2 top 8 teams. Is that right?
Yeah. No, Canterbury were the ones that haven't played many top 8 teams, but every other game, they're a good side every game. But it's just getting to that great. And I thought that was a step forward, beating Parramatta, because it was tight. Mitchell Moses, he's putting you under pressure all the time. And then, although their half stood up, Nico was great, come up with a couple of great passes. And Trindall was, he set the game up. His kicking was fantastic. And they saved heaps of tries. They stepped up, I thought.
Is it that next level where it's sort of mixing it with maybe the top two teams in the
to come to the semis, you need to find another gear. You need to play under pressure, play under fatigue, play a quicker game, and that's going to be the challenge for the Sharks. That's where they've been let down the last, 2 or 3 years?
Since Fitzy's been there, anyway.
Hasn't won a big game. So, Trindall at the back. Ever since Perth, he was leading the Dally M's. But that game in Perth...
Will Kennedy.
Who did I say?
Trindall.
Sorry. Will Kennedy. Jeez, he's taking his game to another level. He just looks so confident.
Yeah, excited to see them in action up against the Seagulls on Sunday afternoon right here on Nine Wide World of Sports. Let's have a look at someone who was having a crack over the weekend thanks to Sportsbet. What about this one from Selwyn Cobbo? Bit of a chip and chase right on the buzzer too.
He's so good.
I love watching him play fullback. He's such a better fullback, I think. He gets involved.
Fitness-wise, do you think that it takes a little bit to get there? Because we're watching him a little bit, and obviously, it's such a different position. But actually, this is I'm going to interrupt. This is one of the best moments from Magic Round. Peter Basaltis, our commentator here on Nine's Wide World of Sports, the absolute professional that he is. He had boiling hot water spill on him during the call.
Look, he's wiping his face now. 3rd degree burns he got.
Oh, salty.
Look at this, look at it.
What a
and
legend.
It just on him. And you don't even hear a change in his inflections.
Oh, he's the best. What a legend.
What's your nickname for him?
Salty Underpants. He's a legend.
What about Salty Underpants?
I tell you what, he's calling well. Calling really well.
Also, just very smooth he is. I can imagine if that happened to us on the sideline and one of us got hot water on us, we'd be screaming.
Toys out of the cot again.
Doovering.
No, we'd just be...
Imagine Princess.
They'd be fired.
He'd walk straight out. That's it.
Actually, special mention, quick special mention, Lockier's interview with Billy Smith and Billy Smith's mum talking about Princess. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it's the best. We might do it next week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll have to get it. Yeah. All right, it's time to check in with Sportsbet. It's over to Joel Kane.
Time for a bit of try scorer bingo. Have a look at the page here. Noted try scorers everywhere. I have included Payne Haas. Why? A, it helps the price. We need any 5 to score a try. South Sydney conceding through the middle like a hot knife through butter. Come on, boys. Have a big weekend in round 10 of the National Rugby League.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Well, big weekend coming up here on Channel 9's Wide World of Sports. We've got some great games. Looking forward to this one on Thursday night. The Eels up against the Dolphins at CommBank. Obviously, the Eels haven't had the ideal season. They've had a couple of wins. They had the first win of the season against the Dragons, which was a narrow one, and then they had the win over the Tigers.
Both at CommBank.
Where do you see the Parramatta Eels at the moment?
Oh, just lacking that killer punch to win those tight games. This will be a great game.
Yeah.
I reckon this could be the best game of the weekend. Both teams like to attack. High-scoring game. I reckon this one you've got to score upwards of 26, 28 points to win this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mitchell didn't play for the first 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, that hurt him.
So, I think in amongst our time, I don't think they either won one game or didn't win. And I think since he's been back, they've been good. Although they were good against Cronulla, and Cronulla are a good footy team. So I think they'll perform. And the Tides will perform too, the Dolphins, because they were terrible.
Herbie was terrible.
They were
Defensively,
terrible.
Robert Toyer gave Herbie a bath that night, so they'll be better.
I was looking at the team list for Dolphins Eels. So you got Hamiso and opposing fullback. You got Iongi.
Yeah.
Then you've got Katoa in the Moses.
Yeah.
You got some great matchups throughout the team list.
That one I'm looking forward to, Moses Katoa.
Yeah.
21-year-old gun and a 30-year-old gun.
Well, he went Penrith into Brisbane, Katoa, so he beat Nathan and then Adam Reynolds.
Yeah.
He had a couple of great weeks.
Yeah.
So, this is a big one. Coming down here, those games were both on Suncorp.
Are you tipping
Dolphins?
Para,
there you go. All right, Friday night footy, Rabbitohs v Broncos. Geez, the Rabbitohs are under a fair bit of pressure.
Hunky Humphreys comes back. A halfback for the Rabbitohs. Latrell back.
Latrell back, yeah.
Broncos for me. They have to hit back. They're poor. They've been poor the last month. They only won one of their last 4. So, yep, Broncos.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate? No, just Broncos.
Just
All right.
Broncos.
Sunday afternoon, love a good game at Four Pines Park, Brookvale. Seagulls v Shark.
Jake's back and Jason Saab's back. If it's good weather, I think this will be awesome, this game. I'm going Manly.
Yeah, Manly coming off the bye, Turbo, fresher. I think they win at home.
All right. Big weekend coming up.
Last time they played at home, they got rolled.
They got rolled by the Dragons, and it'll be Mother's Day, so it'll be a great day.
Yes. All right, we'll all be out there as well. All right, we'll stick around. Great stuff coming up too, right here on Freddy in the 8th. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, look, the best memories you don't really remember, to be honest.
There you go. We're going to get that made into a T-shirt. The best memories are the ones you don't really remember. Darren Lockyer, Magic Round 2025.
It's my life in the same.
Yeah.
Well, because I have to ask, you, on Sunday morning, so you went out a bit Saturday night, which we don't often see from you, which is why everyone's loving it so much. MVP of the weekend.
Well, he started on light beer, and then I got him midstream. And then
he's sneaking mids in the way, and then all of a sudden someone coming with vodkas, and I'm sort of trying to get some control in my life.
Because you didn't come out at all on Friday night.
Neither did I. I had a quietie.
Yeah, that's right.
Friday,
you weren't even there on Friday night. And so then how were you feeling on Sunday morning for the Sunday footy show?
I'm all right. I was just vague. I've never had a hangover.
hangover.
I don't get hangovers. I don't get headaches or anything like that. Never have. But I remember trying to talk and I could see my head in the camera and it was very weird and the words weren't coming out properly. I could see everyone panicking, trying to answer me question. Everyone's trying to jump in. I was just giggling.
So you just sat there in silence a little bit later on?
As much as I could.
Just put your head in your hands.
Yeah.
Magic round.
Had his phone in his hand.
Magic round.
There you go. It got you well. Magic round done and dusted for another year. What a fun weekend it was. But now it is back into the footy. The countdown to State of Origin is on. So thanks for joining us here on Freddy in the 8th. We'll catch you again next week and make sure you enjoy the footy over the weekend. Great to see you. Great show, guys.
Good show.
Women's in.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.